community-based policing it's a very broad term, right? So I'm a community-based police officer, but how do you want me to police you? Tell me, what do you want, right? So as you tell me what you want, I could then look and see if I have the resources to do it. If I don't, we figure out how we can get those resources to work together to make it happen. I can tell you what my capabilities are as a department, as an officer, as a sergeant, as a district, and then we can start getting down to the community policing. That's the one part. One of the bigger issues, and it's right there, we're all looking at it, and it's a real issue, is we have to figure out as a society, because community is the biggest part. Policing, the word's bigger than police, right? And it comes before police. So it's more important than what we do as police officers ourselves is the community. But the community, our American community as a whole, we have to move to an area where we are not criminalizing black skin. We've all played a role in this process. Even as black people, we've criminalized black skin. As black people for 500 years, we have a 500-year history of some dark-skinned people don't get along with light-skinned people because of the history of how we came into this country, because somebody's on food stamps and somebody got a job, because somebody's on Section 8 and somebody's got an apartment, because somebody's driving a nice car, somebody's driving a raggedy car. We do this as black people. And when we do that, we often feed into this criminalization. The movies, what's put out in the movies, you know, the way our system is designed in terms of information flow, it puts in your mind, when you hear blackmail, there's about 5 negative things that come to your mind before the positive one comes. And then the positive one is probably a stereotype. So conversations like this are imperative. This is not something we're going to be able to solve in a huge town hall meeting all over the news on CNN with 1,000 people. It's going to start in small communities. I believe that. It's going to start in small communities with honest talk with people like Barbara and people like Briscoe and Dr. Williams and Lieutenant Sam Brown and Rodney, the real people in those communities saying, you know what, there's no cameras around, let's have this conversation. When you're in a coffee shop, maybe we need to talk about this for a minute, because I gotta stop myself from saying what I was about to say. Until we start really embracing that concept, we can decriminalize marijuana, we can decriminalize a whole bunch of stuff. But until we get that image of America, that brown skin and black skin males are not this stereotype, that we have seemed to allow it to be there and not challenge it. It's time for us to challenge it. And the best way to challenge a stereotype is for us to educate ourselves, get behind the history of it, and start promoting the good about that culture, about that people, about those individuals. And once we do that, I think we'll be moving closer to the middle of what we need to do.
Mayor, the next question is for you. What is the city committed to do in order to create change?
Thank you very much. No, we are committed to, one, making sure that we have very strong communities and that there are really opportunities across all of our populations for everyone. I think that starts with having a strong school system and ensuring that all of our young people who graduate are ready for college, career, or life, that we have to have communities of people who believe that they have a future. And I think so oftentimes the way in which the overall structure sort of feeds back into our community, we get a lot of negativity, unfortunately. But the city itself is committed to assuring that everyone who is a resident of New Haven that wants to move forward in their lives to the extent that we can, wants to have a job, wants to have a decent place to live, these are the things that we are committed to doing. We're committed further to trying to reduce some of the violence that occurs in our communities. You know, if you think about it, where are most of the shots fired? They're fired in, you know, communities of poor people by other poor people. I mean, that's just a reality. That's where most of the guns are. the legal guns as well as the illegal guns. And one of the things that we have to do as a community is to understand that the solution, gotta agree with Shafiq, it really starts with us.